just by the way people celebrate, I mean, the way they spend the holiday time. Can you get a sense of what it is?
Not really. There's been no patriotic stuff that I've seen. People are basically on buses, they're with their families, they're going out to eat meals, they're strolling in parks, they love games, they'll come to tea houses like this. Well, I have not seen much of Mao. I thought I'd see more big posters of Mao.
So you're surprised?
I'm surprised, but we're not in the Forbidden City or whatever. Hello. They don't really want to be looking at the past. Past means, in talking politics, no. Just Mao has done good things, and Zhou Enlai has brought modernization. Got rid of the foreigners. The days of the emperors are over, and the people are rising up in prosperity. They do believe there's corruption, but those are individuals that are doing this, and the government is cracking down on corruption, and this is good. The ancestors being buried in the rice paddies, she always had these fears that, her grandparents were in these rice paddies when she was young, and she had these leeches, and there was an outhouse. They had to go to an outhouse. They didn't have candles, not electricity. So she's really, really happy that, they now have a lot of these conveniences, and they have nice homes and beds, and so she doesn't want to go back. We'll talk about Mao, and she said, well, Mao has made some mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes is what she's saying, and we just got to move ahead. The past is the past. Saying this is the only way to move ahead here. They don't seem to mind constantly remembering the transgressions of the West and their political flaws, the racism, slavery, imperialism. It's been said the Chinese know everything about the history of the 1850s and almost nothing of the history of the 1950s. Forget talking about China's big cities. Cement and more cement, the old giving way quickly to the new. For those who visited China 20 years ago, you won't recognize most of the old quaint villages deep in the countryside, nor the cities. They are mostly gone. So they moved the old bus station in the middle of Leishan to this new, looks like a brand new airport. There's Nanjing here below us. There's a river down there. There's the city of Chengdu. Yushu is considered a gem that completely knocked down the center of town. This is all new. All center. Big square down there. So here's, see these old buildings here? They're taking them apart. They're taking off the tiles, and they're putting up these new things right here. They seem very proud of the modernization of the city. They say buildings that are 100 years old or 150 years old, that means nothing when you have a history of thousands of years old. 14th century palace is below us, but there's the river down there. See the river? That's the same river that goes down to the city we just in. But look at this sprawling. This is supposed to be a quaint. This is a quaint city here. Especially in this area, it goes back over 1,000 years. So they just really think nothing of knocking down. I can see no vestiges in Guilin of the old city except the temple complex. Everything else in the city is brand new, and anything that's more than 20 years old, it seems, is just knocked down, and tremendous construction going on everywhere. Guilin is actually a sister city of guess where? Orlando, Florida. The poor old city of Guilin. Only now, very late in the game, because of newfound money in tourism, are they beginning to think about maintaining sometimes just a single street saved in some cities. Rice fields, and then comes this town which used to be, see the old town is right below there, and to the right, of course, is the new great old town, and that's the peak that we just came from.
It's a big country, and there are still precious cultural spots, mostly found in minority areas, where you can still meet different kinds.
We're in a tunnel, 4.2 miles maybe?
There is no vote or community activism that can stop roads, highways, dams, trains, or new airports from cutting through nature's gifts, farms, or villages, whatever is expedient for profits and access for the military. Developers here in China are not unlike developers the world over. It's about immediate livelihood, money. But perhaps there's less sensitivity to, therefore less regulation for the protection and the preservation of precious culture, human landmarks.
Cái càng mà giờ là những to rồi cái gì
Năm nay là
những cái trống một chừng
phải nói cả trong
dạ những cái trống người nhà khác với nhà khác với công nam mà vậy
các công na tóm.
Environmentalists would be greatly disappointed. Natural flows of water habitats are non-existent, with every one of the thousands of China's rivers except one being dammed, construction continuing to dam most many times over. Water is running low and in crisis in many parts of the land. With the fishing out of our seas and fishermen's communities slowly being replaced by development, tiny and huge fish farms are everywhere to be found, from the oceans to throughout the mainland, feeding millions presently, but the purity of the food and widespread polluting practices are again questioned.
A lot of the poor people from the countryside are trying to come to the cities for work, but there really isn't work for them. People who are making money don't want to do the lowly jobs, so they don't want to work hard, is what he said. It's true for people, I told him, all over the world, that the youth don't want to do the nitty-gritty cleaning up jobs. There's tensions being felt here. Actually, it's more of a capitalist country than the country I come from. She's got to move to another place. She can't keep up with that rent. So greed starts setting in, prices start getting up. So it's the same old, same old. Education is key, and finding a good job is increasingly becoming difficult. So there are these disparities between the rich and poor as they're experiencing this growth in capitalism.
Of the schools visited, I was perhaps most moved by this one for Tibetan children, nestled in the snowy mountains and helped by international donations. These are considered the fortunate ones, fed, clothed, and learning Chinese and the social structure. After spending several months a year to study here, they will be changed people when returning to their mostly illiterate communities, often nomad tents. 600 children and 22 teachers.
Thank you very much. They're working very hard. Tell them they're working. Yeah. Okay.
The kids will each stay in one assigned classroom, and the teachers rotate. The teachers are young, dedicated Tibetan and Chinese together. Very few books, mostly blackboard and vocal repetition. The learning is by rote. Like in other Chinese schools, critical thinking isn't on the menu. The emphasis is on mathematics and language. They learn to read and write Tibetan, but must learn to read and write Chinese. There is no geography or world history at this age. I was from outer space. I was told there aren't enough supplies to have music. When I asked the children what subjects they liked the best, they were very diplomatic. We like them all, was the response. Here they're on bathroom break. The kitchen staff are all volunteers.